Today is Thursday, December 19, 2024. I'm Pastor Michael, and this is Wilderness Wanderings. Our text is from Ruth 4, 7 through 10. Now in earlier times in Israel, for the redemption and transfer of property to become final, one party took off his sandal and gave it to the other. This was the method of legalizing transactions in Israel. So the guardian redeemer said to Boaz, "Buy it yourself." And he removed his sandal. Then Boaz announced to the elders and all the people, "Today you are witnesses that I have bought from Naomi all the property of Elimelek, Kilion and Mahlon. I have also acquired Ruth the Moabite, Mahlon's widow, as my wife, to maintain the name of the dead with his property, so that his name will not disappear from among his family or from his hometown. Today you are witnesses." In ancient Israel, land was God's gift to his people, as promised to Abraham. The Lord said to Abraham after Lot had parted from him, "Look around from where you are, to the north and south, to the east and the west. All the land that you see I will give to you and your offspring forever." Genesis 13, 14 to 15. Also, the whole land of Canaan, where you now reside as a foreigner, I will give as an everlasting possession to you and your descendants after you, and I will be their God. Genesis 17, 8. However, the Israelites were not to consider themselves owners of the land, for it belonged to God. Thus, Psalm 24, "The earth is the Lord's and everything in it." So, when Israel entered the land, Joshua divided it among the tribes, clans, and families. Each received its own parcel. It was to remain the gift to each family forever. Of course, there might be occasions when land might need to be sold, financial disaster, or leaving town, as in our story. But that buyout would only be temporary. Regarding this, God instructed, "The land must not be sold permanently, because the land is mine, and you reside in my land as foreigners and strangers. Throughout the land that you hold as a possession, you must provide for the redemption of the land. It will be returned in the Jubilee, and they can go back to their property." Leviticus 25, 23, 24, and 28. The price of land was based on how many years were left before the next Jubilee. These laws stand behind the transaction in the Bethlehem town square. There also seems to be this part. If brothers are living together and one of them dies without a son, his widow must not marry outside the family. Her husband's brother shall take her and marry her and fulfill the duty of a brother-in-law to her. The first son she bears shall carry on the name of the dead brother, so that his name will not be blotted out from Israel. Deuteronomy 25, 5-6. God gave Israel these laws so that people would take care of each other. He owned the land and didn't want it exploited by rich people, taking advantage of poor people and widows. As we have already mentioned, neither the kinsman redeemer nor Boaz is obligated to carry out this last part. They are too far removed. Yet, Boaz happily announced that he would redeem the property and marry Ruth himself. He would go beyond the letter of the law and gladly carry out its intent. The key word in this chapter is redemption. The words redeem, buy, and purchase are used at least 15 times. As God redeemed Israel from Egypt, Boaz redeemed Ruth and Naomi, and Jesus redeems us. In Boaz, we get a glimmer of the delight God takes in redeeming us. Like Boaz, the price tag doesn't matter. Go now with God's blessing. May the peace of the Lord Christ go with you wherever he may send you. May he guide you through the wilderness, protect you through the storm. May he bring you home rejoicing at the wonders he has shown you. May he bring you home rejoicing once again into our doors.